quick moment here to reset because we have eased our way into outnumbered right now. And now for outnumbered, we are watching the situation play out on the floor of the U.S. Senate. They are actively in a full vote for the big, beautiful bill. We can watch and listen for just a moment.
Mr. Sullivan. Aye. Mr. Thune. Aye. Mr. Tillis. Aye. Mr. Tuberville. Aye. Mr. Van Hollen. Mr. Warner. Mr. Warnock. Ms. Warren. Mr. Welch. Mr. Whitehouse. Mr. Wicker. Mr. Wyden. Mr. Young.
The full vote going on right now on the floor of the Senate for the big, beautiful bill. And the backdrop for this is President Trump right now has just given his remarks. We covered all of them live for you during the Faulkner Focus. And he, no doubt, is right what we're doing right now. He's doing it, too. He had just wrapped up his remarks about Alligator Alcatraz and touring that with his Homeland Secretary, Kristi Noem, and the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. And now all eyes on the U.S. Senate because part of the spending in the big, beautiful bill, a chunk of it will help to further his vision to fight really an invasion of illegal immigrants who have done the worst of the worst in our nation. This is Outnumbered. I'm Harris Faulkner, here with my co-host Emily Compagno. Also joining us today, Kennedy, host of the Kennedy Saves the World podcast. Jerry Willis is here from Fox Business and author of the new book, Lincoln's Lady Spymaster. It's excellent, by the way. And Charles Payne, host of Making Money on Fox Business. Charles, we are in this. We are leaning on this. And without the tax cut that was put into place by President Trump in his first term, if that's allowed to expire today, if this bill does not pass, that hikes taxes for 68% of working Americans.
Right, and the biggest hikes would be for the lower household income. So, and also the pro-growth aspect of this, right? We want to grow this nation. We want to grow the economy. And taxes are a central part of that, particularly for corporations.
The vice president breaking the tie right now, which means they had some no votes from those Republicans. This bill, the big, beautiful bill, has passed because the vice president of the United States, J.D. Vance, has come to the Hill more than once thinking that he would do this. And when he showed up this morning, they were right. He would be needed. He has done it. Let's listen and see if there is any audio that we can take in.
Okay. Pursuant to the order, 4 February 29, 1960, the hour of 12 noon having arrived, the Senate having been in continuous session since yesterday, the Senate will suspend for a prayer by the Senate chaplain.
Look, what you were talking about, and I want to get into it, Kennedy, at the very end of the Faulkner Focus, Representative Chip Roy and I were watching the lead up, the last few seconds of that final vote, and he said that the cuts that were put in place to make this deal, there are Republicans who, and I would assume he includes himself, are not happy about, and he's hoping that some of that, as Charles has just told us, can be, kind of put back in, I guess, by the House. But the cut down on Green New Deal, and they cut some of that out to make a deal today. The giveaways, this is Chip Roy, representative from Texas, talking, the giveaways furthering the Medicaid scam of, this idea that they're not just trying to get out fraud, but they want to just give money away, for Senator Murkowski of Alaska to vote yes for this. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so a lot of that was offsets from Obamacare. So that was expanding Medicaid for states like Alaska instead of really reforming the system. And it is, the way they're doing it, it's still a Band-Aid. It's still a stopgap. And I think they really have to focus more of their attention on these meaningful reforms going forward, because that shouldn't be the thing that kills this bill. That shouldn't be the thing that kills tax cuts. But it opens a very interesting fissure within the party, because you have the constitutionalists like Chip Roy and the Freedom Caucus in the House, and then you have the moderates in the Senate, like Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins, who's up for re-election. And so they're going to push for the more moderate or liberal aspects of this bill that expand government and expand spending, which is a recipe for disaster when you're trying to cut taxes. If you're going to grow the economy, as Charles says, you also have to cut spending. And that's the issue that people like Rand Paul have with the bill.
Kennedy, do you think that it really came as close enough as Chip Roy, representative from Texas, was laying out, that if they would promise to give Lisa Murkowski the money that she wanted, I mean, could Democrats have tanked this in any way? I'm baffled, because we're at a tie, so clearly it was close.
They didn't need Democrats to tank this.
They didn't.
The Republicans did it all on their own, because they thought the more comfortable margin would be in the Senate. Because, you know, mathematically, in terms of the ratio of Republican votes, you have more of them in the Senate, and they lost 3 of them. So it's even tighter in the House. So how you go back with this to the House and come up with a compromise, because, you know, these are some pretty big issues. This is still a pretty big gulf that they have to tightrope in order to pass this bill and have it signed.